And this has taken me way too long to get to, but it's kind of like I'm living my best life, so I'm gonna continue living my best life.
That's where I am right now too. I'm just like, I'm chilling. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Korea Unfiltered. Today's guest, I met him at a networking party and I remember him just talking to me and my jaw just dropped further and further and further as he talked. And also, we have a bonus guest today. There is somebody else in the studio, so if you guys hear noise, just know it's a little cute little girl in the studio with us. She is adorable. I wish I could show you guys on camera, but it's not about her today. It's about the person next to me. Let me introduce you guys to my guest today, Prince.
Me.
Prince came to the studio. Did you guys hear? I told you there's another guest in the studio. Today, Prince came to the studio and he just looked half dead. You're just like...
Yeah, but now I'm awake.
You're awake?
Now I'm alive.
Did the water help?
The one sip brought me back.
If you need, like, we have cola too. The studio got stuff. If you need cola, we have cola. If you need Pocari Sweat, we got Pocari Sweat.
Oh, don't worry. I'll ask more as time goes by.
Okay, that will be okay. Do you want to introduce yourself? Like, what's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Prince. I'm from Nigeria, but I
Hey.
grew up in the UK.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
That's usually the response when
Yeah.
when anybody talks about the UK.
Yeah.
London, to be specific.
Oh.
I've been in Korea for about 6 years now, and I run
It's
I
okay.
run a startup
Uh-huh.
with my friend. I can't English right now.
It's okay. As you can see, I was also messing up my words. It happens a lot on this podcast. What type of startups are you running right now?
It's a tech startup that aims to innovate the gig economy.
Oh,
We're
okay.
bringing a revolution. In case any investors are watching, so I need to use the correct speak.
You gotta tell us what it is and whatnot. So is it only geeks allowed?
Um,
Do you gotta be a geek to join this startup?
oh no!
She's like, I want to laugh too. Yeah, how does that work?
No, the gig economy.
The gig. I heard
Yeah,
the
the-
geek
Why
economy.
would there be a geek economy? What
I don't know.
does that have?
I don't know.
Can you please explain the geek economy to me?
I don't know. Listen, today my ears are not functioning the way they should be. You're not talking right. I'm not hearing right. It's just a mess. But how many years have you been in Korea so far?
About 6 years.
Oh,
now.
okay.
It's been a very interesting journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been like, I bet. I remember when you were telling me and I was like, all this happens in 6 years? Because I've been in Korea for 6 years, but my life has not been as interesting as yours has, I would say.
I guess it's the circles that I hang around in, the places that I go to.
Maybe.
I just attract a certain energy. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like that means, do you think your life is boring? Would you say your life is boring?
Oh, it's anything far from.
I'm pretty sure we'll get into some stories, but yes, your life is definitely anything but boring. When's the first time you came to Korea? Was it like 6 years ago or?
Oh no, it was 2013.
Oh wow, that's a long time
Yeah.
ago.
So about 11 years now. Actually, it was in May.
Oh, but that's
So it's coming up to the 11th year anniversary of first coming to Korea.
oh,
And I really
okay.
just came almost on a whim.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just started watching Korean movies.
Mm.
And I was going to visit a friend in China.
Yeah.
And I had like 2 weeks to kill.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let me pick up some hunger. And then I came to Korea.
Oh wow! Just to visit for those 2 weeks then. And did you know any Korean before coming? Because your Korean right now is pretty good. Like.
Yeah, no, I only knew how to read. So like I have a little rule that I don't really travel to anywhere where I can't read.
Bro, that's me.
The
That's me. Bro, the traveler anxiety in me cannot let me. Like if I go to like, well, India has some English, but if I go to India and it's like written all in like another alphabet, I guess you could say, the anxiety shoots up in my heart.
So that's what I have to learn.
Oh, so you learned how to read first, not really
so
speak.
Not how to speak. So that's
Yeah.
why I like came to Korea, because I was like, okay, what's in the area?
Right.
What's quickest for me to pick up?
Right.
And Hangul was like
It's easy to
a
pick
couple
up.
of hours, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is good enough.
Yeah. I remember when I was first learning Korean, people were like, yeah, you can pick up like Hangul in like 30 minutes. And I was like, how? And then it is like almost 30 minutes. You can understand what each character is in like around 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, combine it and then we're kind of lost at that point. And as different words are coming in. But like the Hangul alphabet, definitely you can learn it really quick. What about speaking? How did you get to where you are in speaking right now?
Very unconventionally.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was taxi drivers. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say that. It was that, like, I know taxi drivers have a bad rep for their driving, but they're wonderful Korean teachers because they ask a lot of the same questions.
That's true.
And they really like go in depth.
Yeah.
It was questions like, where are you from? What do you do? Why did you come to Korea? All in like different accents, and all in like asked in different ways.
Yeah.
And then there's another TV show, but it's off the air now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Kim Makin Shiche Sanghwang. It's like it's like a show about crimes that happen in Korea.
Oh wait, I think it's on Netflix, but it's not a new show. It's an old show.
It's an old show. I don't know if
I've
it's.
seen it.
I watched it on YouTube.
Okay.
It's an NBC show.
Okay.
Shout out NBC.
Sponsor
We need
me.
some sponsors.
That's like the running joke on this show. Anytime we say a brand, we're like sponsor me.
Sponsors,
Sponsor me.
sponsor.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have subtitles during a lot of what they're saying, and then a lot of the crimes ended up being the same because it was a lot about fraud.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of like, this person did this and this person did this.
Yeah.
So
Did that ever freak you out with living in Korea? Like, oh, this could happen to me type of thing?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
But I was very surprised that there was a day I went to look up like crime statistics.
Yeah.
And fraud was actually the biggest contributor. Like,
Bro.
I'm just like, what's going on in Korea?
Like murders? Nah.
Yeah, murder's
Fraud?
not give me some of that.
Right? Voice phishing? Mm-hmm. We're there.
Oh, have you seen the movie?
Which movie?
All about voice phishing.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't think I've...
What was the name? I can't remember the name. I watched it the other night.
Yeah.
It's actually not too bad of a movie.
Okay,
It's actually
yeah.
not too bad, but it's all about voice phishing.
Yeah.
And this guy's, both his wife and his company that he works for get attacked by like the same group of people.
Oh, wow.
And it goes all the way to China, and then he goes to the call center office and like tries to shut it down. It's like an action thriller, like just like
That
lots of
sounds
fighting.
fun. You need to find it so I can watch it.
Yeah,
You also
I'll
need to
send
find
it
it so I can put it here so other people can watch.
Yeah, I'll look for the name.
Yeah. Have you ever been a victim of voice phishing?
Only once. In Nigeria, back when I was.
Oh, snap, in Nigeria.
Yeah, back when I was like really, really young.
Oh, snap. How did that go?
It was mostly just like they called with the like what was the customer service number.
Oh, okay. And
I
then you
was,
fell
like,
for it.
And fell for it, yeah.
Oh, okay, because in Korea, I think when I know it's gonna be voice phishing, I just answer in English and they hang up immediately. I'm like, they're like, 안녕하세요, 고객님, and I'm like, hello. They're like, eh. They just like hang up immediately. I never answer in Korean. Do you answer your phone always in Korean or?
The question is, do I answer my phone?
You're just like D&D.
I just if it's important,
Yeah.
you're gonna text me. I'm the reverse of that. Oh, if it's important, you're gonna call me. But it's kind of like, if it's important,
Text
you're gonna
me.
text me, because I really hate speaking on the phone.
Why do you hate speaking on the phone? Let's get down to the trauma of it. I'm just kidding.
No, there's just like we've got some tap dancing going on. It's more like I get a bit of anxiety that just comes from a call coming into the phone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I prefer so my phone is on silent most of the time, so
Okay.
it's very hard for me to catch a call.
Yeah.
So I will call people, but it's hard for me to catch someone's call. So that's why.
Wow, you're a voice fisher's worst nightmare. Because they can't text you some BS. They need to call you for that BS.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've been in Korea for around 11 years. And she is tap dancing up in this studio. Okay. And I feel like she doesn't know she's doing it. No. Because she's so into her game right now, but she's like tap dancing. So if you guys hear it, you know what? It's okay. She's a kid. So you've been in Korea for around 6 years. Yeah. And as someone who's also been in Korea for around 6 years, I've gone through a lot, like a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. So the first question I always ask is, while living in Korea, what type of difficulties have you encountered?
Oof.
Which I know there might be a lot.
Oof.
Think of some you would like to share.
One more oof, and then
oof.
Oof. I think the two biggest ones has been like stereotyping, and then everyone's emotional unavailability.
Oh, okay. So when it comes to stereotyping, what do you mean? Like, what type of stereotypes have you encountered?
A lot of the big black man, like scary, like I am, and I've spoken about this in like other like interviews that I've done, but it's kind of like some people don't think that I speak Korean, and they don't understand. They think I don't understand what they're saying, but then they're like, oh wow, this person's like really scary, but I'm like really the furthest furthest thing from scary. Yes, you're probably scarier than I am. Like
literally. Literally. Prince is literally like not scary at all.
Yeah. And so like, I think when I shared that story of the guy who followed me into the bathroom.
Share it again. Share it again, Prince.
So like, I went to a club one day. No, it wasn't even a club. It was a bar. And this guy was really drunk, and I was going to the bathroom, and he insisted on like coming with me because he wanted to see
your junk.
My junk, well, my treasure. It's not junk. It's amazing.
You know what? You should call it a treasure. You should call it a treasure.
And part of the reason that I didn't object to it is because I didn't want to cause a scene.
Okay.
Like I didn't want it to become
like a big overblown thing.
But then it's kind of like the same way when I told you, and when I told people afterwards, like, oh, that's almost a crime. Like
it's harassment.
That's harassment.
Yeah.
You should speak up for yourself. But then because I'm trying to like balance that, oh, you're so scary, it ended up, part of the reason my experience has been so interesting is kind of then puts me in a position where it's kind of like, I am then contributing a little bit to some of these things that happen. So yeah, that's the kind of stereotype that I've been battling.
I feel like I understand that to some point, because there would be like some microaggressions that I will face, but because I don't want to have that sticker on me that I'm like the angry black woman in Korea, I just let it go. I'm just like, you know what, don't say anything. But we truly should be speaking up for ourselves. But I think it's just, we don't want every other black person to be seen like that.
Yeah,
but,
it's definitely stressful. And it's definitely a tightrope to like walk through, because on the one hand, we're almost treated like the consensus.
That's true.
For all black people.
That's true, yeah.
Without any diversity, even though cultures in Nigeria are so drastically different, not to talk about like across countries in Africa and then across so like different. The diaspora, or then even just across like British black people, African American black, or like Afro-Latin, like those are like completely different groups of people. But then it's almost like, if I one day, for example, spit, not that I do, but if that then becomes, do all black people spit like that?
Literally is like that. It's like, so all black people do that.
Yeah. So
do you think it's changed? It's changing a little bit with how we're all seen under this one umbrella?
Okay, so like being here consistently, but then even from the first time when I came, yes, like overarchingly, it has gotten better. There are people who are, because of like Afrobeat, because of hip hop, of course, people are learning different cultures, people are learning dances, people are learning about different celebrities. So there is like increased knowledge, but then still on the overall.
Here we go. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had an incident like that since, and that was, I think it happened in like 2020. So
that's quite recent. I thought it was going to be like 2017.
That's still 4 years ago.
Oh my God, that is 4 years ago.
Almost half a decade ago.
It feels like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday, but that's half a decade ago.
Oh, wow.
So I can say that, okay, yeah, it has kind of gotten better. But then also I've then also gotten, I guess, a bit more used to navigating the space where I'm then okay with being that stereotype.
Oh, so you just accept it at this point. You don't really fight it.
Yeah, because then at the end of the day, the people who know.
True.
And the people who don't know, they're not going to change their mind.
True. What other stereotypes do you think like you've had to face?
So this ties into the next one, which is the emotional unavailability. Is that then I'm not an emotional person, but then I am. And then I'm not given the space to express that.
Okay.
With guys, it's more of the thing of like Korean men are really told to like chamo.
Yeah, just hold it in.
And just like hold it in. Yeah. But then that can lead to like male normative alexithymia. So
oh God, don't use such big words. What does alexithymia mean?
So like the inability to properly understand your emotions and express them.
Okay.
And identify them.
Yeah.
So male normative then being because men are forced to then chamo and hold everything in, then it kind of becomes a norm for them. So that's like on the one side. And then on the other side for Korean women, it's almost kind of like, oh, if you're being a bit oversensitive, you're seen as weak.
Oh.
So
I think that's probably like even in African culture, don't you think? Or you don't think that is in Nigerian culture?
No, Nigerians are very theatrical.
I just imagine Nollywood.
Exactly, what?
They're so dramatic.
They're so dramatic and so theatrical.
You know what? Never mind.
Do you know what happens? Do you know what happens when you do something to a Nigerian? They say it's not your fault. It is my fault. I let you do this to me.
Nigerians are so dramatic. Like, oh my God, that's why you guys make such great entertainment.
Yeah,
so dramatic. Okay, so never mind. It doesn't count that. Yeah. So you. I have definitely never seen a Nigerian man just not speak their emotions.
Like what? They'll tell you exactly. They'll tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
They'll tell you why it came from like your family's wrong. They'll tell you why your kids are gonna be wrong.
They'll tell you God sees this too. Sees this. Like everybody has seen what you did, bro. Dramatic. It's true. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So in Korea, you feel like Korean women will see you as weak if you show emotion.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, that has happened. It happened literally just earlier this year.
Oh, how so?
So there was someone that I was kind of talking to.
Yeah.
And they. How can I say this?
Take your time.
I'm really big on like psychology and like attachment styles and how to, make your relationships be good. And they're more like the avoidant attachment style, and it like pulled away really suddenly, and that made me quite anxious, and I was like going through stuff at the time.
Yeah.
So I tried to express this to them, and that made them pull away even more, and then that kind of made them attack me. But then this is not like the first time that's happened.
Oh wow.
And obviously it's not like I'm not saying like, oh, this is Korean women's fault.
Just this one person.
I'm not even saying that's this one person's fault, but it's just very much like in Korean society, I feel like you're not really allowed to open up about mental health. You're not really allowed to say, like, say you're going to a therapist or like a psychiatrist or that you take medication. Like these aren't regular conversations. People aren't really sitting down and saying, hey, I had a traumatic childhood and this is how it's affecting me as an adult. So like all that conversation just doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
And so it creates a space where then people aren't really open when then somebody does come, because then I am quite open.
Right. You want to talk
with
about
what's
about
gonna
it.
happen to me, and then they're kind of like, oh, why are you sharing that? That's a weakness. So like I've heard people say this several times to me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because even I think in Kenyan culture, it's the same where men are, if you show too much emotion, you are seen as slightly weak. Not even slightly, you are seen as weak. It may be changing. Like, I appreciate an emotional man. I want you to tell me what's up, you know? Like, I don't like when a man just shuts down and doesn't say anything. You know what I mean? So that's really sad to hear, because obviously I've never dated a Korean woman, so it's, you know, I've never.
You've never tried it?
I don't want to try it. I'm okay. I'll just hear your experience and I'll be very much okay with that. But I do think it's almost the same with Korean men in terms of they don't share either.
Yeah.
They hold a lot of stuff in. And when you start asking questions, they don't know how to answer the questions because they've never been asked those questions before.
I've definitely seen it with Korean guys. I've never dated a Korean man neither.
You don't want to try? Yeah.
No. Not after the stories I've heard in Hongdae.
Facts. Facts.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be nobody's side.
Bro, everybody's side piece if you're dating a guy in Hongdae.
So shout out to any side pieces.
Hey, side chicks. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? No, definitely I've seen it with Korean guys as well, because then when like Koreans in Korea are different from Koreans in the UK. And I don't mean like Koreans that have grown up in the UK. I mean like take a Korean person, just pop them out of Korea, put them in the UK, they're completely different people.
Very different, yeah.
And I've had like completely different conversations. And even I can feel it. Like me in the UK, very different from me
in Korea.
Korea, there's just something that makes it feel so like tight. And tense at almost all times.
Yeah.
And it's like I've had conversations with my friends that I've met, and they do then start to open up, and then they do start to say, actually, I don't know how to answer this question, or like, actually, no, this was painful, or this actually, you know, this might be traumatizing. But then it takes like a little bit of like prodding and pushing. It's not just like off the top of their head, which I think is slightly different.
Yeah.
I would say for like African culture, in that while African culture is not also accepting of mental health, at least there's still a running joke where everyone is at least a bit self-aware of like being beaten or like not having boyfriends.
We know our
girlfriends.
traumas.
Like we know, like we can at least identify.
Yes.
them.
Yeah, especially the young generation. Like
Yeah.
we share our traumas. You're like, oh, you were beat too? I was also beat. It's like that. Yeah.
But then I haven't really seen a lot of people in Korea like really share that. The only thing that people say is just, oh, konde, or like overtime work.
Yeah.
That's kind of the two things.
It's very surface level almost when they talk about it. I wonder why that is. I do have friends. I have like friends who do go to therapy, but the way that don't quote me on this, please, but I have friends who seek therapy, but when they go to therapy, they're just given medicine. Like the therapist, psychiatrist, I should say. The psychiatrist doesn't sit there and talk to them. They're just kind of like, okay, it sounds like you need this medicine.
Oh, no, that has been my experience too.
Oh,
like,
is it?
I think the person I'm seeing now is probably the best person I've seen since I've been in Korea.
Yeah.
And I've been to like six different hospitals.
6 is a lot. Okay.
And it's like spread around like Seoul and Incheon.
Yeah.
Because that's where I've lived.
Yeah.
And the person I'm with now, at least I can get like 15 minutes out of her, and she does ask questions. She's like really amazing. But other times it's literally just been, did you take your medication? You did. okay, here's your next one.
That's my friend's experience. Like, they don't talk. They just ask, what medicine do you need? Okay, take the medicine. Bye.
and buy, and that's it. And so it's like, even
Oh my God.
even the what is it, like the infrastructure,
Yeah.
I would say, or like the service is still not even equipped
Oh
or
God.
set up. If people did start saying, okay, I want to break it down, I don't think it'd be able to handle it.
I think it would take a while. Because even when I see America right now, therapy is just getting more accepted now. I feel like, and like the millennials have made therapy more acceptable, I would say, and that took a long time, right? So I feel like for Korea and maybe certain parts of Africa, for it to be acceptable to go see and sit there and like have them talk to you, it's gonna take a while for it to be acceptable.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, guys, get therapy if you are able to. It's great, helps a lot.
Yeah, no, this is, and I think we should be sponsored by therapy as a concept.
BetterHelp. If you want to reach out, everybody talks about BetterHelp.
Well, yeah, I think it's very important. Everyone, I feel like I compare it to like going to the gym. Even if you say like, oh, you're not overweight, or you're not underweight, or you don't have any goals, you're not training, that's okay. Just there will be a machine in there
That will help you somehow.
that will help you somehow.
Yeah.
It's the gym. Just step in and you will feel better for it after.
Literally. Therapy is for everyone and anyone. Just having someone to talk to is amazing. But apart from that type of difficulty, is there anything else that has been like a shocker to you? Or even maybe like a cultural difference that has been a shock?
Oh, I think it's not so much a shock, but something that I can't really get behind, and that's more in the working culture.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's the way that there's no like repayment from the company in terms of, let me, like, if I paint you a scenario, if your original times are like 10 to 7 and you worked until 2 a.m., what would you expect?
I'm
from
expecting
your
overtime
manager
pay.
the next day? A bit of overtime pay.
Overtime pay.
And
Thank you for
thank you for
staying.
staying. Maybe start a little bit at 10:30, maybe 11, because you finished at 2.
Yeah.
Tell me why they're still like at 10:05. They're like, you're late. Yeah, I'm late because I was here until 2.
I had to finish my work at 2.
I was doing extra work.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that I finished my work.
Yeah.
I was doing extra work to make you guys understand
Yeah.
what my work is. Yeah, I'm going to be late 5 minutes. Like, that was something that I still can't
Get behind.
I still can't wrap my head around it.
Jesus. I've never worked in a Korean company, so I've never felt that. But wait, what's the first thing that you did when you came to Korea? What job did you do?
Oh, I
Like
did a lot of stuff.
Take us through your work life.
So I had originally came with and for my ex.
Okay.
So her parents owned a restaurant, so I got a job there in as like a kitchen helper. I don't know the exact term. And then I called up a bunch of different hagwons. I managed to get a job there too. I was a comedian for a little bit.
Oh,
That was really fun.
That sounds fun.
And then I did private lessons where I taught programming. And then
Sorry. The leaf was just like here the whole time. I'm sorry, yeah.
and then I got my first job in a company doing like project management and business development. Then I moved around doing business development, doing marketing. Tried to start my own startup a few times, but then didn't really go anywhere. Went back to teaching, doing business English. And then now again trying to start something.
You start up.
Yeah.
Oh, what has been the most fun job that you've had during those years?
Definitely the comedian.
Oh, you were doing your stand-up in English or Korean? In English. That's fun. I feel like the stand-up community is not that big here.
No,
it's like quite small.
But then stand-up as a concept is quite small in Korea.
True.
So
I think I only know like 2 Koreans that even do stand-up. And other than that, this stand-up is not really a thing here. So you had said that you had first come with your ex.
yeah.
How was that? Like, were you scared to come to Korea, or were you like excited? How was that trip?
I think I was just looking forward to the future. The whole point was at the time, we were really young, and she hadn't graduated, I hadn't graduated, and we were just working a ton.
Oh wow!
And I think we were both combined. Our pay was like 8 million won.
Oh, so 8,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
But UK is very expensive, so we were spending that much every month as well.
Oh wow,
So
8,000 per month.
Yes, it was coming in
And just whoop.
and just phew,
Yeah.
going out.
Sheesh.
And so part of the reason was like, okay, we'll come back. You can finish school and whatever, focus on your career, and then when you're done, I can then take my time to do the same.
Oh, so you kind of let her do her thing first, and you held back.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It wasn't a wise decision.
Bro, you know what? You were being a gentleman. Just tell yourself that. I was being a gentleman at that time. Not the best
I
decision.
was being
though.
a mug. What's the word that people are saying? I was a bit simp.
You were being a simp.
Don't be a simp no more.
Okay, so I'm guessing in the end you were like, it wasn't worth the wait.
No, it was what it was, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say because of the way that things transpired, I've had a lot of interesting experiences along the way, and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so because this person is your ex, and you have said it is your ex, how has like dating been for you?
I don't know how to date. I'm very confused about dating because I'm quite a literal person.
Okay. In
So
what
for
sense is
me, dating is you go on dates with someone because it's the verb of to date.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, we're not dating. This isn't dating. I'm like, okay, but break it down for me.
See what you mean.
What do you mean? What do you call dates?
Yeah. So people are like, we're hanging out, but you're like, but you're calling it a date, but you think you're hanging out.
Yeah, it's like, okay, but if it's just hang out, does that mean I can invite someone else? No. Okay. If it's just a hangout, can I talk to other people? No. Okay.
Then why is this not dating?
Well, why is this not dating?
Yeah.
Or how is this dating?
Yeah.
Like I've been so confused about it.
Yeah.
I can say the pool is trash.
Whoo! It's
People
trash over here too, girl.
Yeah, it's
Over here too. Trash dating life.
trash dating life.
Yeah.
People are again really traumatized. They are like, I met someone off Bumble like last month, and this was just weird for me because it's like, okay, to be fair, you can say, okay, you didn't reply too promptly. It was, okay, I take that. But it was kind of like we both kind of agreed. I was like, oh, we should hang out, we should meet up. We're having, generally around this time, and then it was like, do you want me to go here or here? And then I told her, oh, whichever one you choose, I am fine.
Okay.
And then I just didn't reply for like about 10 hours.
Okay.
And then the next day I saw a message and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm okay to come here. Like as soon as I saw it, I messaged in the morning. And then in the evening time, something was just telling me like, oh, this person's not going to come. So I messaged her again like, oh, okay. I'm about to start
Getting
coming.
ready?
And,
Oh, okay.
What's going on? And she's like, oh, you didn't reply on me, so I'm not going to talk to you anymore. She unmatched me on Bubble and just blocked me on Kakao. And I'm just like...
Did you ever like tell her the reasoning for the 10-hour lag, or?
like we both said we were busy.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It was like she said she had a test. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm preparing for a product launch.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like I
Like
already
she knows the reason why.
She knows the reason in advance.
Yeah, and you had said you're okay with both.
With whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like.
Nah, she wants that pali pali.
Yeah, that pali
pali.
I'm just
pali pali.
And I'm just like.
Yeah.
We're not even dating yet. We haven't even gone on a date.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good for me in that sense.
Yeah, you get to weed out the people who just don't match your lifestyle then. Because she can't, right? If she can't wait the 10 hours when you're busy, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is, Max. It is what it is. How has the dating apps been? Because I used to use Bumble 3 years ago, I think. But right now I'm not on the dating apps. But like, how are they?
I mean, for me personally, they don't work. I'm terrible at taking pictures.
Oh my God. I think most men who are on dating apps suck at taking pictures though.
Yeah, but then at least they're good looking. And
now you shading your own self.
So when they do take a picture, they are very handsome.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not.
You know what?
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'll just put it that way.
Nobody's everybody's cup of tea. Let's start by saying that, Prince. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You're not everybody's cup of tea.
No, but some people are more people's cup of tea.
Some people are like 10 cups. I might be 1 cup.
I might be 1 cup. Some people are like a pitcher of tea.
A kettle.
Yeah, a kettle of tea. Some people it's just like, you know
the espresso cup.
You know the stick. I'm the stick. I'm just the tea.
You just this one.
This small cup.
The stirring. Just that.
Yes,
yeah.
That's how much tea I am to most people.
Listen, I feel like, to be honest, most men I feel like men just don't date well on dating apps. I feel like the person has to meet your personality. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, that definitely.
Yeah.
But then like I've seen this in action.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I know that it's me.
Okay. You know what? Self-awareness.
Better looking friends.
The picture part is definitely a really, really big thing, though.
Yeah.
If you are in a dating app, because that's the first thing they're
Yeah.
seeing. Like, we can't ignore that part. So I guess, are you just like chilling right now? You're just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, is that you?
Yeah, I'm just like, and this has taken me way too long to get to, but it's kind of like, like I'm living my best life, so I'm gonna continue living my best life.
That's where I am right now too. I'm just like, I'm chilling. Yeah. You know what? I feel like, are you religious by any chance?
Oh.
Just kidding. Okay. I feel like, as a Christian, I feel like when it's your time, it's your time. When it's not, it's not. And right now I'm like, maybe it's just not my time. I'm chilling.
Oh yeah.
You know, I feel like you find peace in it.
Yeah.
And it seems like you found peace in it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found peace in it too. Apart from the difficulties, what have been some of your best memories living in Korea? Like some standout, like great memories.
Oh, I've met some amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've had friends who've introduced me to other friends where we've gone on nights out and they've just been so like incredible. Because I don't even go out too much. I pretty much like to stay at home.
Oh, you're a homebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I did go out with them, they made it just so like, jumping on tables and like,
Sounds like a crazy night.
Crazy nights. A lot of traveling. So I do love to drive a lot. Which is funny because I don't like to go out.
Maybe you just like the silence of being in a car by yourself or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've driven down to different parts of in Korea, so like Busan, Yeosu, to the east of like Donghae. Got my little ukulele and then
you just
play
go
some
chill?
music.
Yeah, that sounds really relaxing though.
Yeah, no, I've had like as much of as much as I have complaints about Korea, which they are stressful to the point where they've like affected my identity. There's still been good moments.
Yeah. So. Would you say the good moments have outweighed the difficulties?
No.
Is it like together, or is it like
the difficulties are way more?
Oh.
It's almost like. Sorry, I was trying to be really hopeful. I don't know why I turned it this way.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's your experience. Yeah.
It's that for the good things have just been really big. So it's not that they've been plentiful. It's just that when they have been there, they've just been really big.
Yeah.
And I would say it's like the difficulties are 거의 다 했어.
거의 다 끝났어. 10분 더 줘? Okay? Okay.
So the good moments have been really big, and the difficulties have been small, but they've been a lot more.
Okay. And I feel like it seems like, the difficulties you've experienced and maybe the difficulties I've experienced, they do affect your mental health to the point that sometimes they're going to stick with you longer. Like good memories come a lot. So I feel like I do sometimes forget the good moments, but difficulties tend to stay in your head longer because they can be traumatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when they trigger something that was already existing. So it's kind of like you're making me think of something that I didn't want to, it's making me confront something I didn't want to confront at that time. It doesn't mean that I didn't want to do it at some point in the future, but at the time I wasn't ready. Just like I was saying, the person I was talking to earlier this year and the way that she reacted then made me react a certain way, and then that made me feel in a way that I didn't want to feel at the time, because I was trying to go through some other stuff. And it's kind of like, okay, I've got so much on my plate. Why are you making me feel this right now?
Yeah.
Can you just wait 3 months and then you can make me feel this and I'll be fine?
Yeah. But people usually don't think about the other person in that situation. Yeah. How do you deal with your mental health right now in Korea?
So I've gotten to another point where I'm finding peace in not being myself.
Oh, okay.
And I know it's a bit contradictory to earlier when I said not caring about the stereotype. But what I mean by not being myself is in that not everywhere is going to accept my quirkiness as a good thing. They're not going to accept my jokes as funny. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Sure, yeah.
And rather than get stressed out about that, I then appreciate the places where I can be myself. And then I know that when I can't be myself, that's not a personal thing. This is just a space that's just unwelcoming to parts of me that I identify with and that make up who I am.
Okay, that, you know what, I feel that. Is there something that you would like to say to the viewers, people who want to come to Korea, maybe other Black men who are oh, I really want to go to Korea, but I'm a bit apprehensive about going to Korea?
Oh, if you want to come to Korea, come to Korea. Don't be afraid of anything that I've said just now. More than likely, you won't even have this experience. I remember the first time I came to Korea, and even walking down the street in Gangnam, you couldn't really see other foreigners.
That was 2013, yeah.
Yeah, and that was 2013.
Yeah,
but
I remember.
Now, it's like I'm walking down the street in Gangnam, and I'm almost counting more foreigners than Koreans. So I'm like, what's going on? Was there a convention? It's like,
why did I know there was something going on?
Like suddenly I'm like, where did all these foreigners come from? As if to say I'm not a foreigner myself.
Why are there so many foreigners here, girl? You're also a foreigner.
I'm also a foreigner.
Yeah.
So it's it's definitely changing. It's definitely getting better. More areas are embracing different cultures and you're starting to see like a lot more diversity in experiences. I think there's more like subcultures as well.
Yeah.
Coming out. So like Hongdae is like very different from Itaewon. It's different from like Shinsai. It's different from like Urujiro.
Yeah.
Different from Mule. So it's kind
Everything.
of like
Yeah.
like you've got all these different areas where it's kind of like you can fit in anywhere.
Yeah, and somewhere you will find your crowd somewhere in Korea for sure. Yeah, I would say if somebody was to ever ask you, are Koreans racist? I don't know why we both laughed at that. Like, I said it and then I felt a laugh coming out after you laughed.
Is water wet? Are they more racist? It's more like the question is, are they more racist or xenophobic? Ooh. I think that is the correct question. And in that sense, yes.
And there you have it, guys. The question has been answered. You need to put your own contents into it.
I don't like it's obviously it's not. Can we take
Open
1 second?
Yeah.
Come.
Do you know? Can say hi?
Yeah, obviously it's not everyone, and
of course, I mean,
oh, how are you gonna sit in another person's country and say you're racist?
We all know the comments coming.
Yes, we know.
Duh.
Yeah. But like, there's different shades of the racism. It's from like the stereotyping earlier, the sense of, oh, is this person aggressive? The sense of the fetishization, not just from Koreans, but also to Koreans. I do want to highlight that too.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about Koreans here, like the phrases "being matada" or things like that. The fact that some people will be like, oh yeah, I can date you, but I'll never ever take you home. Work environments, microaggressions, there is so much. Even some of the beliefs where people are like, I remember someone saying, oh, Africa is lazy. And I was like, oh, come again? It's like, yeah, because, Korea was also poor, and now Korea isn't poor. Now Korea is one of the OECD countries, and no country in Africa has been able to do that. And I was like, do you know the context of what you're saying?
Because we're lazy?
Yes. Wow. That was so like when you have people who still think that way, it's then how can you not call that racist? I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like, yes, it is miseducation, but you can also do a quick Google search and find out why Africa has been misused around the years.
The internet is free.
There was a recent clip, and I mean, this is very recent, where this girl on TV, very famous singer, was telling her son that he should eat bread because kids in Africa don't get to eat bread. And she's saying it like with a whole smile on her face. Like, oh, kids in Africa don't get to eat bread. And the kid goes, oh yeah, because kids in Africa eat soil. It's not funny, but it's funny.
I haven't seen that.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen that.
You need to watch it, but I was like, I laughed though. I'm not gonna lie. I laughed for like 10 minutes straight, and then I sat in it and I was like, this is on Korean TV. Yes. Kids are watching this. Yes. Like other parents are watching this, and now like the punishment for kids is gonna be like, make sure you eat your food. There are kids in Africa who are hungry. Like, are there not kids in Korea who are hungry too?
Yes, there's always the idea of Africa is poor and struggling, which is sorry. Okay.
I thought you were about to cry.
No. It's just a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, people can say like, fair enough, but then it's like you're not coming to solve these problems. You're not coming to add adequate solutions. These problems are very complex, where like take Nigeria, for example, is not meant to be a country, was originally done so by colonization, and through that you have people who hate each other completely now having to try and execute democracy
and be harmonious,
and then you're
harmonious
so like it
together.
doesn't, when obviously it's not going to work,
Yeah.
you're like, you guys didn't work.
Mm.
You guys just, this is why it's your fault.
This is why you guys are poor.
This is why you guys are poor. But then
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, it's a lot for sure. I think for me the biggest one is, yeah, there are quite like a lot of racist people still. Microaggressions, miseducation, just stupidity. There's that too. But it is getting better. I do remember the first time I came in 2014, it was a lot more. Now in 2024, I don't see it as much, or I choose to ignore it. Maybe I don't see it because I'm not concentrating on it anymore.
yeah, I think it's a bit of, definitely a bit of both.
Yeah.
There are things that I'm just like, even when I see, I'm just like, whatever.
Especially as people who like Black people who understand Korean, it's even more like obvious because you understand what they're saying. You understand the nuance in what they're saying.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm just like, I'm just not gonna fight it. Have fun.
Yeah, you know the SpongeBob meme where it's like, I'm a head out.
Oh, he's like
just mentally. Sometimes I hear something, I'm just like, I'm a head out. I'm not gonna touch that.
Yeah, and you're just like, and I sometimes get people who are telling me like, oh, why don't you educate this person about this? And it's not my job. It's literally not my job.
It's really not.
Yeah, like
And you can spend hours.
Go for it. You can spend days teaching something.
For some reason, I've dated a few racists.
Oh.
I know the comments are going to be like, how did you not know they were racist?
Yeah.
And it's like, you only know they're racist when it goes bad, because that's the thing that they start to attack you with.
Your race is what they're
racist
attack
when
you
they
with.
start to say like, oh, it's because you like, at first they're like, oh, at first it's just strange comments. Oh, I really think you're beautiful for a Black person.
You have no idea how many times I've heard that in Korea.
We're kind of so used to that you kind of just let go, and maybe you're like,
just kiki about it.
Maybe don't say that. That's not right. And they're like, oh yeah, I just didn't know. And then you're like, yeah, sure. Until you break up, and then it's like expletive.
That's why you're on years.
That's almost the feeling. It's like, sorry, you're some big shit. It's like, it's just like, bruh.
That's all. That's the word they always go to when they're attacking too.
It's just like, can you not?
Can you just break up like a normal person?
Just break up like a normal. Just be angry like a normal person.
Yeah.
And my last ex, she admitted to still being racist, and part of the reason why we broke up is because during a fight with a different friend, she said, go back to your country, to that friend.
Oh my God.
And
wow,
for me it was kind of like, okay, I get that you might be mad, but no matter the context, why is that in your head?
What's the first thing you want to say?
Like that,
to hurt them?
Why is that in your head at all? Like,
literally.
if like, I know that if I ever had something and I was like, oh, it's because you're a woman, then I'm a misogynist at that point. Because
why
is that in your head? Why is that in your brain?
In your vocabulary,
or like Nigerians will say, why is that in your dirty mouth?
Dirty mouth. Literally, like, why is that?
Why is that there? Why is that coming out of your mouth?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
that has to have been hard to hear as the partner of that person saying it.
Oh, it was like, there are very few things that make me actually scared, and racism is one of them.
Oh,
it is one of them. And so anything, and I really want to stress this. Looking at
camera right there.
I really want to stress this. When people say, oh, it's not always about race, it is. It really is, because that little thing could be traumatizing to someone who was excluded as a little child because of race.
Of their race, yeah.
And that's something that my daughter has to go through.
Bro?
And so it's kind of like, okay, when she grows up, I pray someone says that in front of me, because then I will slap them.
It's the day you're going to smell prison walls.
Yeah, because, well, no, you can't say it's not about race for her when literally people are saying, you're not Korean.
When she is Korean still.
When she only speaks Korean, when she's got a Korean passport. When
literally, I talked to this girl in English and she's like, huh?
she
only speaks Korean.
Korean school, and you can't tell me that she's not Korean because of some melanin.
Which is not a lot, no offense. This girl is half Korean. She's not that melanated.
Yeah.
So for them to be like, she's not Korean enough because she has like 50% black in her is crazy to me.
And so that is my fear. So when she said that made me so uncomfortable, and I was like, okay, you could do anything. Like, you could actually beat me, and I'll still be like,
it's okay.
It's okay.
But that comment.
No, we have to bleep that.
Do I bleep it out? I will. Don't worry about it.
No, we can keep it. No, we can keep it. But it's a joke. It was a joke.
Of course, oh my God, of course it's a joke.
Is not
what if
funny,
somebody actually was like, so
it's
okay for people to hate you?
Yeah, no, it's a joke. It's a joke.
It's showing the extremes. It's still worse to hear somebody's daughter being harassed like that, you know?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I'd rather you hit me than call my daughter something too.
Yeah.
Oh, because I'll hit back.
Yeah, because I'm a grown person.
Yeah, but your kid is a kid.
Yeah.
She can't hit back.
Yeah.
But yeah, why is she fighting? She's like, I'm about to. If y'all don't finish this podcast, it's okay. We're almost done. Okay. Anyways, guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Prince's story. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. There was a lot going on. Yeah. I had a great time though.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. And you guys could hear the tippy taps of our other guest in the room today. She's restless and she wants to go. She's tired. So I will be ending the podcast here. If you are a YouTube viewer, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you are a podcast listener, make sure you give us 5 stars so we can up in the algorithm. And also, are you guys both miming? What's going on? And also, if you are a YouTube viewer, please make sure you subscribe because a lot of you, like 90 to 80% of you guys have not subscribed. But anyways, guys, that was it for today's podcast, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.